A lot of people would say, thank God it's Friday, just because today is Friday and the end of the working week. Of course, the beginning of weekend as well. But hey, we are here on Rise and Shine Daily just to bring you all the important information that needs to make your day. My name is Janice Cobham. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Akwa Ibom State. Of course, it's a beautiful Friday morning to rise and shine wherever you are. My name is Uya Anek, and thanks for joining us this morning. Do not forget to grow the community and let's have your thoughts on the conversations on the floor. So like, comment, and share across all the social media platforms, all of which you can find on spectrumtv.ng. Also, feel free to call in on the phone line, send us your text and WhatsApp messages so we can hear your thoughts on issues that will be brought on the floor this morning. Thanks for joining us once again.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Janice.
And yeah, I was actually wanting to say that you can also be a part of our conversation by joining us on Startimes National now. I wish that the frequency can be on our screen. But again, let me just say thank you to all those that normally call into the show from Monday up until yesterday. Our phone lines keeps buzzing, and of course, Rise and Shine cannot be as beautiful without you. So do well to call us on the show this morning as we discuss all the very topical issues making the rounds in Nigeria. But before we go into our major conversation, something has been trending, and it just calls for a lot of worry. There's a particular school in Lagos State, Federal Government College, Ijanikin in Lagos State, that has been immersed in some kind of crisis, and that's because some of its students were caught with their female counterparts in a hotel in the state engaging in a sex romp. And it just makes me get so worried, like, where did we get it wrong? Where did we get it wrong as a family? Where did we get it wrong as a society? And where did we even get it wrong as government in this kind of situation? You asked the question, Federal Government College, Ijanikin in Lagos State. Where were those that were supposed to be in charge of these children? And it's not even a matter of just having a sex romp. There's been also accusation of bullying in that school. And if we take our minds back to a particular secondary school, I think sometime, was it last year or in 2020?
That was last year.
That was last year, where a child was bullied, and at the end of the day, he lost his life. We've not heard the end of that story yet. And so these things continue unabated. And you were asking, where did we actually get it wrong?
Well, a lot of things happen, but this is where I'd like to start from when it comes to, children being bad, teenagers turning out bad. The bedrock of every society is a family. Yeah. So when you come to this one, we can't start from the government to the family. We would have to start from the family to the government. This is actually an error, from the family unit. How were those children raised? What have they been exposed to at their family levels? You do not have parents who, allow children to experience sexual activities when they shouldn't. Some of these children have already been abused by people while they were growing up as younger children, up to the age of teenagers, and by the time they get to this age that they have been caught, they've already become addicted to this problem. So I think this is a family issue. It has already gone wrong somewhere in their training at home before it got to this level. For a child who did not get wrong for at home, what do we call it? When people begin to interact, they've been in school together. Yeah, peer pressure.
Socialization.
Yes, they socialize with each other. A child that has a wrong upbringing brings their knowledge of what they know and adds it. A child that has not found themselves, just buys into the idea. And that's the result of what we're seeing. The case has trended for a couple of days, and it's a real big issue. But Lagos State has suspended the students involved, and of course, continuous investigations are going to be done into the issue. But beyond even just investigating the issue, some of these children are already addicted. So we should be looking at an addiction recovery program already. When we talk about having counselors in school, yes, when we're talking about having counselors in schools, do we have psychologists and counselors in our secondary schools? And even if we do have them, what services are they offering, to these students? Are you asking the pertinent questions? Are you really finding out what these children are struggling with? It's a whole real big issue. Now, these are just the children that have been caught. And these issues is not even in our secondary schools, come down to even primary schools, private in nursery schools around your cities, and you'll be shocked at the things that children are being involved in. And some children will tell you, I saw my daddy, I saw my mommy, and that's how these things just spiral. So the family unit needs to get it right before we even come to what the teachers would do or the counselors would do. Parents should become more proactive. And I mean, in the generation we live, you see that we are really distracted in the pursuit of money and in the pursuit of career. We really do not have any parent that is very present with their children, you know. So this becomes a problem. When we were growing up, we had parents who chose career paths that would, you know, allow them to nurture their children. I remember when I was in primary school, my mom had a particular routine for us when we came back from school, because she wanted to check your activities in school and be sure that her children were not, you know, getting corrupted, as it were. So these are the kinds of things. Mothers and fathers, everyone is chasing more money. Fault of the economy, how things
I
are.
want to say
Yes.
that because when you look at even, you know, the one job that you have, and then you try to match it with the economy, and then you see that even the money you're earning at the end of the month is not enough.
Even the
So
money
you-
that a husband and a wife are earning,
and
cannot even.
so you have to begin to look for other means of income and multiple streams of income to make ends meet, and even enough to even pay the fees of these children that you're sending to school. But it's really pathetic. And you know, when I see stories like this, I begin to have this inner fear in me, like, okay, so how do I even begin to raise my children, you know, to be a model and not bring shame to the family and all of that. But I think, just like you said, the family needs to do more.
Yeah.
They need to do more. But even in the school environment as well, teachers need to be proactive. A lot of teachers these days, you know, they are just about, the largesse that comes from, a rich family, you know, and all of that. But they need to do more. They need to put their eyes on these kids. Because another thing is, I know that if a child is paying or a parent is paying so much as school fees, there's a level that parents, you know, needs from the school authorities. You know, there's that level of responsibility that the school owes the family and owes the parents of those children. So, for example, now the school, Doyen College now, where that child was bullied until he died, it was unraveled that they pay about 500,000 as school fees. So I cannot be injecting
For
half
a
a
term.
million. Yes, for a term. I cannot be injecting 500,000 for a term and so much more for one semester or session in school, and you're not giving me you're not molding my child to be what I want my child to be. So I think that the school also has a greater responsibility, because if you're saying that these children are maybe like boarders, you know, so they spend most of their time in school rather than at home. So let us see a situation where there's a synergy between the family and schools.
Yeah, the education board across the country really needs to implement the whole psychologists and counselors available in schools.
You have house masters in schools, right?
The work of what a counselor and a psychologist would do for a child is not what a house master
No,
would do.
what I'm saying is the house master is to monitor, to check. Okay, so are these children in the
In their
hostel
hostels as at when
as at when due, you know, and all of that. But it's totally missing. There's just a missing link somewhere we are, and that's why we are having this kind of society that we are having, and breeding this kind of children that we are breeding. And then you talked about the family again, yeah, the fact that because we have money, you begin to give your children smartphones at very early ages, and then you're not even monitoring the kinds of things that they watch. And then they begin to watch, they go to, you know, X-rated sites and begin to see things that they're not supposed to see at their
Yeah.
age. And then they want to experience these things.
Yeah.
I was seeing a video on social media the other day, and I was heartbroken. Like, why would this happen? And even the person that was posting it, what were you thinking for you to even be pushing this kind of, you know, video around? But it has shown how deplorable the
the
society
society
is.
has become. Yes, absolutely. Our the morality in our society has really gone
Yeah,
down. It has really, really gone down, and the questions can only keep rising. Like you said, where did we get it wrong? You know, the
exactly.
moral decadence in the society is so alarming. Even when you get to the point you see young ladies dress half nude and walk on the road, you know, it's not good enough for the things happening in our society. I mean, we all have, you know, ways of contributing into you know, the good or the bad that we are seeing in our society. We have a part to play. Mothers and fathers should play their parts. Teenagers should play their part. You know, when you say that a child is grown enough to handle a smartphone at the age of 13, 14, we do hope that you know, that child is smart enough to also advise themselves that this path I'm taking is going to, you know, eventually destroy my life. And this is what I'd like to say. I know that it's not a very popular opinion in the days that we live in. But you see, family life, when you have decided that you are going to marry and raise children, there's going to be the need for one parent to decide to, you know, make the sacrifice of raising their children in keeping with the standard of how you know, the type of children you want to see. We can't just, you know, do things haphazardly. You can't have two parents putting in the quality of energy into their career at the same time when they have children to raise. One person must be willing to make the sacrifices. And you know, the truth about career is that we always do not realize that our career at some point can wait to a particular degree. You can put your career on a hold to raise your children, and when you come back into that career ring, all things being equal, you know, having done the right investments, that you would always find yourself, you will find your flow again in the career circle, instead of, you know, having a family, climbing the career ladder, but yet your family is a no. So I'm just like, it's an unpopular opinion, but
Yeah.
we must be realistic. Have a vision for your family, have a vision for parenting. What are the quality of children you want to churn out, you know, after having gotten married and beginning to give birth to children? You must have a vision for your children, have a vision for family life. And if that includes one person making a career sacrifice that will help you have this quality of children, please do it. Now, we're not even saying maybe like do not work entirely, but maybe choose a career path that allows you get home at a particular time and supervise the growth of your children.
And know exactly, you know, when they begin to change and, you
Yes.
know, do things differently as well.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Let's just put a pause to that story. It's really heartbreaking, the kinds of things that we see children do these days in society. But let's take you through some of the major stories making the rounds this morning. We go straight to Oyo State. Yeah, so many things happening around the political scene, and I think this was a part we were actually waiting for, but the suspense is still there. The announcement, the big announcement, has not yet been made. But then again, we saw the G5 united as they, you know, decided to go to Oyo State, Ibadan, actually to support the flag off for campaigns for the re-election of Governor Seyi Makinde. Now, Governor Wike of Rivers State and his Benue State counterpart, Samuel Otom, on Thursday, which was yesterday, said the alliance within the People's Democratic Party, PDP, known as the G5 or the Integrity Group, remained united. They also said that the G5 will soon announce its preferred choice of presidential candidate for the February 25 election in Nigeria. Wike and Otom spoke at the Maple Hall in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, during the flag off for campaigns for the re-election of Governor Seyi Makinde. Now, Makinde, Otom, Wike are members of the PDP G5 alongside Okezie Ikpeazu of Abia State and Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State. But again, let's
to understand why she should come by tomorrow. It is not like this to take care of the other elderly people like us. It's the oldest monkey and the main monkey. And then this is the secretary who talks with Al Jazeera. He's the one who sends our information out. This one, you will hear him, all secret thing, he does it and executes it. So my brothers and sisters,
the G5 governors pulling their energy as as strongly as they can. Just yesterday, we were talking about the fact that Seyi Makinde was absent in his state when Atiku Abubakar, their principal in quote, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, came for his campaign, and then just like the very next day,
Yes.
the flag of his gubernatorial campaign opens up in the state, and you have all the G5 governors present, colorful as they are, and always, they will not always forget to make like insightful statements facing, the matter in the PDP, as it were. But we also had Seyi Makinde put a plea out to the people of Oyo State to re-elect him into office so he can continue, and finish the good works that he has started in the state thus far. And at this time we are beginning to hear more conversations of gubernatorial campaigns happening in the state. So this helps us to even just put our hands around all of the, around all of the expectations we are going to begin to have from political parties and all of that. Of course, he thanked and appreciated the people of the state for their support. And of course, as usual, you would have to look into the successes you've recorded in your administration the past 4 years since he came into power in 2019. And he said Oyo State became the sole honors of Ladoke Akintola University, that's LAUTECH. I remember very well that somewhere in 2015, LAUTECH was a very big issue between Oyo State and Osun State, and salaries were being owed for a very long time as a result of that. But it's beautiful to see that coming up in Seyi Makinde's time, that was absolutely handled. A number of things I talked about. He cancelled the payment of 3,000 levy in public primary and secondary schools. And I mean, talking about internally generated revenue, it increased 1.8 billion when he came into 3.8 billion in the area of the states, and that is very, very good. That's like a 2 billion naira increase from 2019 to 2022. At this point, you would actually say, okay, these G5 governors actually have some bragging rights on their shoulder.
Anyways, you know that they will definitely brag about the successes they have been able to achieve, just to woo people, the people of Oyo State, to vote for Seyi Makinde again. But another thing is, what are the people of Oyo State saying?
What are their responses to this?
Are they in line with what Seyi Makinde has actually done, or his achievements for Oyo State? If they have, or if they are saying the same thing, then it also behoves on them to go back to the polls and make sure that Seyi Makinde returns as the next governor of Oyo State. But then if they haven't, or they seem not to agree with all the successes that Seyi Makinde has actually ruled out that he has done for Oyo State, then the polls will also tell at the end of the day, because we are not in a Nigeria where you come out and tell us you have done this much, and then the people are not feeling this much that you say you have done, and then you expect them to bring you back again for another round of 4 years. So it's left for the people of Oyo State. The ballot is in their hands right now. If they feel that the governor has done this much for them, then they should re-elect him back. But if he hasn't, please, I think another person should step into that shoe and become the governor of Oyo State.
We actually did see an incumbent in Osun State not return, to
exactly.
the seat.
Oyetola Gboyega, even though he's still contesting,
but
the results.
the first round of the results says he didn't get the seat, apart from what, apart from the case being contested in court, but we can see that even incumbents can lose out on the seat if the people do not feel they want to stand with the things you reel out. But then again, another thought comes to mind with regards to Seyi Makinde and any other person that might be running for a by-election among the G5, governors. Do we think that these internal wranglings in the People's Democratic Party would, by any way affect their runnings for the gubernatorial seat in their state? So far, so good. They have really estranged themselves from the presidential campaign committee for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and now you find out that there is a Seyi Makinde who will still need the backing of the People's Democratic Party in your state to vie for the seat of the governor. I hope that these in-wranglings and the separation they currently have does not come back to bite the likes of Seyi Makinde at this time. So that's just like some a thought that is brewing in my mind. If there is someone going for a by-election, a re-election at this time, and you're a G5 governor, the support of the remaining 4, is it strong enough, as strong as you would have your entire party behind you to go for an election in a state? Just the support of the other 4, is it strong enough? Because if we are saying we are separated, it means you might not even get the backing in at a particular level from the party, from the national level, or even the state. So I hope that these are things that they have considered also in all of this.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good point and narrative that you have pushed forward. How does this also affect them in one way or the other? I know that most of the conversations we've been having around G5 governors is the fact that they have nothing to lose. They've been in power for like 8 years and they're wrapping up their tenures, so nothing to lose. But for the case of Seyi Makinde, I think is actually different. And just on the side now, I think I saw a video yesterday also that showed that while Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State was actually chanting and asking the people over your state, to vote for Seyi Makinde, there was this uproar of chants of Atiku, Atiku, Atiku. So it shows that some people, the party is divided between two lines now. The G5 on one side and the presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar on the other side. So how does this reflect on the elections of Seyi Makinde going forward? It's a big question, and it's something that, well, some people would say that, they have the backings of the G5 governors, but let's not also forget that, look, Rivers State is not your state, Benue State is not your state, so they have their lines. They have lines that
that's how far they can go.
That's how far they can go in trying to push some of these things. So you cannot come from wherever state or whatever states that you're governing to come and impose a leader on another state, all in the name of G5 governors. So these are things that, lines that shouldn't be crossed anyways. But we are hoping to see how, Governor Seyi Makinde would go through the elections and see the outcome of the elections as well. But let's take a tweet from Governor Seyi Makinde where he's saying that he's grateful to everyone who made the official campaign flag of a success. This is from him. He says, grateful to everyone who made our official campaign flag of a success today. I especially thank my brother, governors, and other eminent party members who joined us in Ibadan for the event. I thank the good people of Oyo State for turning up in their numbers to show their support. The same way they will turn out in their numbers to show support for him is the same way they will also turn out in their numbers to show support for Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. So it's a serious business that we are looking at. The G5
really do
and
hope
the whole PDP family.
Yeah, we really do hope that at the end of the day that this doesn't put Seyi Makinde on a bad lane for his gubernatorial aspiration in the state. Like at the end of the day, overall your political career, like remember I think it was 2 weeks ago when the People's Democratic Party said, you cannot come, you cannot be in PDP and try to endorse someone from another party. This is going to affect your political career in PDP and in the country and all of that. But we do hope that, as G5, as integral, they have a lot of integrity. I hope that they sit down, they dot their I's and cross their T's so that, this particular push as a G5 unit does not affect, the aspiration of another person. But at the end of the day, great push by the G5 governor. Seyi Makinde has officially flagged off his campaign activities in Osun State to be re-elected as governor of your state for another 4 years, and we would keep our fingers crossed actually to see how that turns out. Of course, these men, they do not forget to wear ashwebi these days.
Yeah, talking about the Ashwebi thingy,
they
and then dancing and having
Ashwebi.
fun as well. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah.
Serious business at the same time.
Add color to their polity, right?